the gift of pain. One of the big values of physical pain is that it's so obvious, and I've had, as many have you have had, so much physical discomfort in my life, that physical discomfort and pain, it will pull your awareness to it. So anytime you are not relinquishing into your object of meditation, you're in pain. So it's a wonderful teacher in that sense of honing your concentration. Okay, now there's two ways that we tend to look at this. The first is the one that you start with, which is releasing the pain, releasing the barriers, opening up that space, dissolving that energy out, dissolving that pain, merging it with a type of light to purify and to open the space and to find a more equanimous relationship, right? To find some stillness underneath that you can focus on. And the pain, you don't really experience it. That said, when local anesthetic doesn't work, you experience pain. So the acute stuff is that much higher skill. The post-operative type of pain I found it's not really any worse than normal stuff that I would have experienced. And you dissolve that into light. Now, as you develop more and more, or as the pain gets worse and worse, if it's beyond your skill of moving that energy, then you have to look from the opposite perspective, from the other side, which is dissolving the identity that gives meaning to that sensation of pain itself. And this takes a little bit more skill. There's a lot of akasha involved in this type of dissolution, where the identity itself dissolves. And now there's nothing for that pain to get stuck on, right? It's the identity that provides a barrier, and sensation and energy will push against that barrier and build and build. However, when that barrier doesn't exist, everything can flow through. So the stronger your relationship is with non-identification, non-self, the easier that process is going to become. And so we want to be really, really aware of this. And when you're working with pain, you can explore both perspectives. Okay, now that's just physical pain. Now, dukkha, or suffering, this becomes more and more subtle. The pain of existence itself, as you dive deeper and deeper and deeper into meditation. It can be like existentially, in a sense, physically, mentally, emotionally, more painful than any physical pain. And this starts to arise as you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into meditation. So the same way that coarse physical pain acted as a learning tool, as a point of differentiation between when you were merged with your object of meditation, or when you were in deep states of cosmic union and non-self. When you're not in that, you observe the existential pain. You're identified with all of your past habits, all of your personal identity that associates those sensations with pain. However, when you can dissolve that sense of self, then that higher level, we could say, of dukkha can pass through. And so you're constantly working this process of reaching a new stage, a new layer of dukkha, where it is pressurizing the identity and giving you the gift of learning where those blockages are, where you still have identity as a human. And this allows you greater opportunity for deeper surrender, deeper sovereignty, deeper unity with more refined states of energy, consciousness, information, being, existence. Okay? So because it is more refined, your awareness has to be that much more refined so that you don't wander away from that dukkha. You transform it through the literal softening out of that energy, the literal transformation of it in terms of frequency and alchemy, as well as what allows it to move becomes the dissolution of self. And this is really, really important. So pain at every layer becomes a wonderful, wonderful teacher, right? Existential pain, mental pain, psychological pain, emotional pain, physical pain. Wonderful, wonderful teachers in all senses. And then what happens is, from an alchemical standpoint and from a deep meditative standpoint, the only difference between existing within and identifying with dukkha and identifying with its opposite is choice, right? And you experience both within a grander space. And the meaning of dukkha changes, right? Suffering doesn't mean suffering. It will then mean something else. And there can be an incredible type of rapture and bliss in acknowledging both spaces within a grander whole, right? Through your own sovereignty, you can experience the relationship of dukkha and the highest states of like spiritual bliss and ecstasy. We're not talking like just physical sensations. When you're in these high peaks of emptiness and equanimity and these unions with very, very refined states of consciousness, there's a type of rapture that it's kind of indefinable, right? It's ineffable. But you know it when you're there. Okay, so one becomes, you can't seek the bliss because you will, or that rapture, that from a sacred standpoint. I'm not talking about what we might normally think of as rapture from a physical standpoint only. But if you're seeking rapture, then you will tend to run from the dukkha, right? But those work together, and it's the evolution and the dissolution of that identity itself, what it attaches to, what it means to be its own thing, and to dissolve that and have unity with that much more of what is present. That's where this really starts to evolve. Okay, thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed this. If you're interested in training, I have a retreat coming up in June 2025 here in British Columbia, Canada. So you can see details on the website there. That's a 16-day, 2-week spiritual attunement retreat, levels 1 and 2. Nature magic, Qi Gong, some very advanced meditation, and other spiritual fun things. I offer training online, private lessons, private coaching. You can hit me up if you're interested in that. And also we have courses online in Tai Chi and Qi Gong, Hermetic alchemy, and meditation. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.